how writing about my anxiety and depression has helped me cope. Although it's not always talked about so openly, mental illness is quite common. In fact, according to a survey done by Women's Health and the National Alliance of Mental Illness, 78% of women suspect they have one, and 65% have been diagnosed with one. Still, a huge stigma persists. To break that down, we spoke to 12 women dealing with conditions like depression, PTSD, and more. All this month, we're sharing their stories. Name: Kat Kinsman. Age: 43. Occupation: food writer. Diagnosis: anxiety and depression. Anxiety is lifelong for me, and I actually have a book coming out about it in May. It's a state of being, so it's not like it started at any particular time that I can look back on and realize how various things were manifested. And, at 14, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. After I launched CNN's food site, I started writing more personally, and people paid attention. So I call it coming out. That was the first time I wrote a personal essay about depression. The response was tremendous. It was beyond anything I could imagine. Thousands, literally thousands, of people wrote comments or letters, saying, "Oh my God, me too." A couple of years after that, I wrote an essay about anxiety, and it went viral on CNN. It's made me feel so much less ashamed. Before, I just couldn't really make myself go out to a party, or I struggled because I'd been fretting all night or whatever it was. And now I'm much more able to tell people, here's what's going on. I'm late to your party because my hands were shaking, and I was trying to put eyeliner on, and it went all over the place because I was having a panic attack. In the course of interviewing chefs, they start talking about mental illness, either their own or somebody in their restaurant, and I realized that this was more than the average population. So I started this Chefs with Issues project. Women in the kitchen have it much worse than men. There's such a macho culture that they have to work doubly hard to prove themselves. I did a survey for the project and got 900 responses, and I'm especially hearing from women about depression and anxiety. I wrote an essay about anxiety, and it went viral on CNN. I asked chefs if they had the resources to go and get help, and they said no. They don't have insurance, and they're not able to talk about it at work because they were afraid of being seen as weak. That's why I'm trying to normalize things, since I'm a person who's fairly public and has been on TV a ton. There are so many people out there who are suffering. I got a note from somebody recently, a woman who lost her chef husband to suicide. I've been getting notes like that since I started doing this. It's so pervasive. I really hope we can have a big conversation about what's going on.